Thank you so much, sir, for that enlightening session. The next session will bring out various perspectives on retention and engagement with special reference to the 21st century workforce. In the 21st century workforce, flexibility becomes the norm and a source of competitive advantage. The new entrants in the workforce are highly educated, connected, and value-driven individuals who want passion and purpose in their careers. Combine the well-documented lack of loyalty with the desire for passion and purpose, and you have employees who are likely to move on if they are not engaged or fulfilled professionally. While successful implementation of employee engagement initiatives is influenced by market uncertainty, changing client demands, investor demands, regulatory hurdles, operational issues, and cultural limitations, implementing those programs that fit your culture and industry is the key to figure out the right employee engagement strategy for your company. So what advice do our panelists have for designing engagement initiatives bearing in mind the peculiarities of the 21st century workforce? To discuss this at length, I take the opportunity to invite once again our moderator for the session, Mr. P. Thiruvengadam. Welcome, sir. I will also like to call upon the panelists for this session, again in alphabetical order. I request Dr. A.K. Balyan to please take his seat on the dais. Dr. Balyan is presently the MD and CEO of Petronet LNG Limited, one of the fastest growing world-class companies in the Indian energy sector. He is a topper from IIT Delhi in MTech and a PhD from Germany. Prior to joining Petronet LNG Limited, he was Director HR of ONGC and also had additional charge as Director in Charge Business Development and Joint Ventures, ONGC. Dr. Balyan was elevated to the board of ONGC in 2003 for demonstrating remarkable competence in myriad roles. As Director HR, he led corporate rejuvenation campaign and pioneered a study to redefine the organization norms, focusing on rosters, roles, and responsibilities to be benchmarked with global best practices. Thank you very much for being with us today, sir. I next invite Dr. Kuriakose Mamakuttam on the panel. Dr. Kuriakose Mamakuttam is currently Professor and Director, School of Business, Public Policy, and Social Entrepreneurship at Ambedkar University, Delhi. Earlier, he was Professor of Human Resource Management and Industrial Relations at the Faculty of Management Studies, University of Delhi, from where he retired as the head and dean. Dr. Mamakuttam has been an independent director on the board of companies, NGOs, and on the board of professional journals. He has done consulting work for International Labour Organization, for the Planning Commission and the Fifth Pay Commission of the Government of India, and several MNCs and domestic companies. He has undertaken extensive research and published many papers in the area of human resource management, technological change, and labor issues in India, South Asia, and in Europe. Glad to have you on the panel today, sir. I now invite Mr. P. Dwarkanath to join the panel members on the dais. Mr. Dwarkanath is the advisor, Group Human Capital of Max India Limited, New Delhi. Till recently, he was the director, Group Human Capital, Max India, where he drove Max Group's intent to make work at Max India a fulfilling experience. He has experience of more than 4 decades, of which he has spent 27 years in GlaxoSmithKline. During his tenure as Director, South Asia of GSK Consumer Healthcare, GSK was thrice adjudged among the top 5 employers in India for people-related practices. He is on the board of several companies, besides being member of the advisory committee of some business schools. He has chaired many sessions across the globe, held senior positions in various professional bodies like NHRDN, and won several awards. It is indeed an honor to have you with us here today, sir. I now take the opportunity to invite Mr. R.P. Singh to join the panel. Mr. Singh is Director HR and Legal at IFCO, New Delhi. After his post-graduation in labor and social welfare from Patna University, he started his career with Telco, now Tata Motors, at Jamshedpur in 1975, and worked with British India Corporation, Patna University, and Pyrites Phosphates and Chemicals Limited before joining IFCO in 1996. He is a life member of many professional bodies like NHRDN, NIPM, and PHDCCI. He has also served as member on the panel set by the Minister of Civil Aviation, Government of India, to facilitate the post-merger integration of Air India and Indian Airlines employees. Mr. Singh has received several awards and accolades. He has traveled widely and has participated in various national and international conferences and training programs. Welcome to the panel, sir. Last but not the least, I invite Ms. Veena Swaroop to join the panel here. Ms. Veena Swaroop is Director HR Engineers India Limited, where she has taken several path-breaking initiatives towards talent management, training and development, employee communication, CSR, and brand building with a view to take EIL to greater heights. An MBA from Lucknow, she joined ONGC in 1983 and held various prestigious and challenging assignments there. She was also deputed to Mangalore Refinery and Petrochemicals Limited as a change agent to initiate aligning the company to public sector requirements. A member on several committees of professional bodies like IMA and NHRDN, she has been actively involved in the development of the field of HR, especially with reference to public sector. She has also been conferred with various prestigious awards. It's a pleasure to have you with us today, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be an extremely captivating evening with this power-packed panel here. I now hand over the session to the moderator, Mr. P. Thiruvengadam, for further discussions.
Good evening and welcome to this panel discussion. I think the organizers couldn't have done a better job than getting a panel of this eminence. This is outstanding. I'm truly humbled to be a moderator for this group of eminent professionals. I was referring to the topic earlier in terms of the engaging the 21st century workforce. And probably if you look at all of us on the dais, you may have some doubts about our relationships to millennials. But let me assure you, there is no one here who has lesser experience than an age of a millennial. So to that extent, I think it's a very valid panel to discuss some of these aspects. The second aspect that we need to also look at is that probably with the kind of complex and diverse experience that all of them have had, they would be able to predict and also talk about some of the newer dimensions of what would make a difference to the emerging workforce or the workforce which is today probably going to be growing in number and in terms of their power in the employment. This session would be organized in the following manner. I would request each of the panel members to probably about 3 minutes or so each. Sorry for putting a restriction on time. It's more related to an overall management of time. And if they could perhaps describe a dimension or the way in which they look at the topic per se on an overall basis, that is the retention and engagement. And then I would like to ask them a few questions, which I believe are the basic premises on which the entire topic probably stands and what would make sense. And then we would have those questions would not be specifically directed at any panel member. Those would be where probably more than one panel member could explain or state his or her viewpoint. After that, after the question round by me, I take the privilege of asking the first questions. I'd like to invite the audience to ask questions within the time frame that we have in few. So we would try to definitely close this by about 8:35 or so. We have roughly an hour. So let's see how best we can make. Given the nature of the panel, probably 1 hour is it's not enough, but we have to work within certain constraints. So I'd like to probably start. Maybe we can follow. Professor Mamkutam, if you could start and give us a little bit of your thoughts on what the broad topic is.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here amidst so many practitioners. I'm an exception to the rule to the extent that I'm not a true practitioner in the corporate sense, but I do work with people. So I believe I have certain sense of what we are talking about. I'm an academician all my life, almost 40 years. And from my perspective, possibly the most important aspect of management, not necessarily human resource management, is to attract, to retain, and to engage. I think this summarizes the job of a manager. In fact, if you look at finding people, the suitable people, as we call it, is difficult. Getting them to kind of stay with you is more difficult, and getting them engaged is perhaps the most difficult task. To me, it is not an HR-specific challenge. It is a challenge for the organization, for the manager at all levels. The complexity has increased, and I think that is why the topic is really topical in the current context. Perhaps for the first time, I think we have 4 generations working together. I don't think this would have happened in earlier times. If you look at right from the so-called war veteran, the Second World War generation, who we refer to as the veterans, then we have the baby boomers, and then we have the baby busters, and today we have the Generation X and Generation Y. To me, this is an added complex to the very complex work environment in a country like India. We already have diversity which very few other nations or contexts have. We have multilingual, multicultural, multi-regional, multi-ethnic complexity at the workplace. Creating a work culture within this diversity, I think, is a huge challenge. An added dimension to my understanding, because of the changing demographics, is dealing with this diverse, because as we progress in the discussion, we would see that each of this generation has its own characteristics. Whether you look at the lifestyle, whether you look at the attitude, look at the perspective, the work ethic, anything that you can look at, there is certain degree of differences among this generation. I think that's the aspect which we need to address, and we need to find solutions if we are interested in retention and engagement in particular.
Thank you, Professor. Mr. Singh, what are your thoughts on this?
Thank you very much. I wouldn't say I have pleasure sitting here. I would have been pleased sitting over there and listening to the thoughtful discussions coming from this side. But anyway, I'm here, so I have to speak. My problem is that perhaps I'm the odd man out here. I have all along been working in an old economy manufacturing sector for almost about 38 years. And my experience is therefore confined only to the manufacturing sector. I don't have much of knowledge about the so-called new generation industry. And from that prism, I would like to say that as far as our own organization is concerned, so far we do not have any problem of retention. The level of turnover is less than 1%, and we do not find all sorts of challenges that many of the people find in the industry. Therefore, I find it very difficult to say what I should be saying, because we are aware of our limitations. We are talking today of very innovative and non-repetitive kind of jobs, but unfortunately for manufacturing industry, most of the jobs are repetitive in nature. And therefore, we need people who would stick to those jobs. And therefore, we don't look for the best. We look for the most suitable for those kind of environments. And we also do not look for people in this elite environment, because We are dealing with farmers. We are manufacturing fertilizer. So we look for recruitment from within the tier 2 and tier 3 level of cities, or maybe from the villages. And that has perhaps made us successful in retaining employees. So we don't bother about employee retention. Yes, we do bother about employee engagement. And for that, what we do is we create a sort of pride and passion amongst the employees. When we recruit, we tell them very honestly, forthright, that if you want to become a general manager in 5 years' time, this is not the place for you. If you want to work for the food security of the country, if you want to work for the rural development, if you want to work for the upliftment of the farmers, then this is the place where you can work. And perhaps that is the reason because of which those who are very ambitious, they don't come to us. Those who come, they stick to us. Thank you very much.
That's a very interesting point of view. Most of the time, the pressure is on the employer in terms of how to retain and so on. I think Mr. Singh has given a very interesting contrarian viewpoint. I think we'll take that on stock and then later come back to it. Dr. Balian, we would like to hear your introductory remarks.
Yeah, thank you very much. Well, I have my experience largely from major part of my time that's spent in ONGC. As a PSU, the overall environment is different than what we can say the private sector. It is, I would say, pretty closely related to what Mr. Singh said. But I think there are issues because many of the public sectors do work in a high technology area where the turnover is more. Also from the point of view that they have to compete with private sector and perhaps in all areas, and therefore the pressure is definitely building in within the public sector. But the difference is perhaps that not all disciplines, not all segments of employment, perhaps this is so major issue in terms of retention. But yes, in very critical areas of an exploration company like ONGC, as we call it E&P, exploration production, many critical areas are very vulnerable. And with the growth and the criticality of this sector, people do leave. For a company, while Mr. Singh had just about under 1% turnover, attrition in ONGC at one point in time was touching about 3% plus. And particularly in those critical areas of disciplines, it created a lot of problem that you don't have expert reservoir engineers, expert drilling engineers who could perhaps like a joystick see that the drilling is done in a horizontal way, several kilometers, a very high-tech kind of things. If the people leave from that kind of work, it makes a lot of difference and it hurts the company. So we do experience